Everyone, I'm Cassandra Mack, and today we are talking about why an envious friend is a dangerous enemy. This video was inspired by Melissa. She comes from Long Beach, California, and she asked the question, how do I deal with friends and family members who act more like enemies and frenemies? Well, for starters, you have to be real. You have to keep it real with yourself concerning the people in your midst. You have to call a thing a thing. And so if you are dealing with someone who behaves like an enemy, then that's what it is. A lot of times we don't like to use the word enemy when we're describing a family member or someone who we've known for a long time because it seems like such a harsh word. But the reality is an enemy is defined as someone who was actively opposed to you or hostile towards you. So when you're dealing with someone who's opposed to your goals, your dreams, who's opposed to your aspirations and your achievements, who even has hostility towards you because of your favor, your blessings, or the things that you want to do, be, and have in life, whether that hostility is up front and out in the open or whether it's hidden and on the low, the reality is you are dealing with a person who is an enemy. Some synonyms for the word enemy are rival, adversary, an antagonist. And so the reason an envious friend is an enemy is because whenever you have someone in your camp who is envious towards you, they also have a degree of hidden hostility, opposition, and rivalry towards you. And that's not a friendship where you have a safe place to land, where you have a safe place to share your hopes and your dreams, where you can confide in them without worrying about whether or not they're going to put your business on blast. And so an envious friend is a dangerous enemy for many reasons, and I want to share 7 reasons why an envious friend is a dangerous enemy. Number 1, an envious friend is a dangerous enemy because anytime you have someone in your circle, in your inner circle, who's harboring a spirit of envy, and that envy is aimed toward you, you will never be able to stand on a firm foundation when it comes to that relationship. You can't have a solid friendship with that person. Here's what Proverbs says about envy. This is Proverbs 27, verse 4. It says, wrath is cruel and anger is outrageous, but who is able to stand before envy? Now that's deep. And so what this scripture is letting us know is as cruel as wrath is, and anger will make you do and say some outrageous things, but you can't even stand in the presence of envy. See, because a person who is harboring a spirit of envy is also a person who's unstable. There's no solid foundation. They're unstable because an envious person is also double-minded. On one hand, they admire something about you, but the very thing they admire, they also hate in you. And a double-minded person is unstable in all of their ways. You can't trust somebody who's envious of you because if they're double-minded, meaning one day they admire a particular quality or characteristic in you, and the next day they hate you for possessing that quality or characteristic because enemy is a deep-seated resentment. It's a deep-seated resentment toward your favor, your blessings, your aspirations, your achievements, a particular gift or personality trait. And so when a person is envious, they're also double-minded because the very thing they admire is the very thing they hate in you because why do you have it instead of them? And if they're double-minded, they're unstable. And how can you trust somebody who is emotionally unstable when it comes to their trustworthiness, when it comes to their character and integrity with respect to the relationship you have with them, be it a friendship, a family member, or even a romantic relationship? Second reason why an envious friend is a dangerous enemy is because with envy comes hostility, whether that hostility is manifested subtly or overtly. And see, whenever someone is hostile towards you, they're also hostile towards your aspirations, your skills, your favor, your gifts, your personal style. It might be something about your personality, your ability to just take a licking and keep on ticking, your resilience. It may be your joy, your peace of mind. your character, your inner light, your achievements. So whenever someone is hostile towards these things about you, they're going to try to tear you down in the area of their envy. This is important. So watch for people who try to tear you down in a particular area, because that's letting you know that that's the area of their envy. And so let's say you have a gift for singing, and you have a friend who always has something slick to say about, your singing. Well, maybe you could go to a vocal coach because you don't really breathe right when you sing, and you don't hold the notes long enough, and you really don't do the riffs well. They're envious of your gift. And so they're going to have a degree of hostility towards that particular gift. If somebody is envious of a skill that you have at work, they're always going to try to diminish your competence in that particular skill, because that's the area of their envy, and they have hostility towards you because of it. If someone is envious of the way you put yourself together, the way you dress, the way you carry yourself, they're always going to have something slick to say. And don't let somebody compliment you in their presence, because they're going to throw a little shade on the compliment. Well, they dress okay, but they get all of their clothes, from the $10 store. And not that there's anything wrong with shopping at the $10 store, but clearly they are not complimenting you. They are trying to diminish your sense of style. And style has nothing to do with money. You can dress fabulous on a budget, but that's not their intent when they're saying that. Their intent is to try to throw shade on the compliment. So watch for that. That's going to tell you that you're dealing with a person who's an enemy. Third reason an envious friend is a dangerous enemy is because an envious friend can't even speak peaceably to you or about you. In other words, whenever they speak to you or about you, notice their tone of voice and pay attention to their word choice, because their tone of voice and their word choice will always contain just a hint of bitterness and resentment, just a hint of bitterness and resentment. They'll never have a kind word to say about you, especially behind your back, especially if other people are speaking favorably or peaceably about you in a certain degree and in a certain area. So let's say that you just have a gift for preaching and teaching, and there are other people who are talking about that. That friend who's envious of you is going to find a way to throw shade on that. So be careful of that. Here's what Genesis 37:4 has to say. And this is about Joseph and his brothers. And it says, but when his brothers, meaning Joseph's brothers, when his brothers saw that the father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and could not speak peaceably to him. Oh, my gosh. And so in this story, what's happening is that Joseph's father favored Joseph and gave him a coat of many colors. And as a result of the favor that was on Joseph's life, his own brothers not only hated him, but they could not speak peaceably to him. So watch for people in your family or even in your circle of friendships who can never speak peaceably to you. There's always a hint of sarcasm, passive aggressiveness, condescendingness in their tone. There's something that lets them know that they are not at peace with your gifts, your talents, or the favor that is on your life. Watch for that, because you will start to realize that you ain't got no friend in this person. You got a dangerous enemy, and you got to know who your enemies are. You got to know that. And you don't got to be nasty just because someone is an enemy to you. It just means that you have to be very boundaried around that person. And so think about countries that don't get along. When two countries don't get along, they have very clear boundaries, and they're armored up. And so similarly, when you are dealing with an enemy, you have to have very clear boundaries. There has to be a place where you don't give them access to an emotional place, a mental place, but you also want to have on the full armor of God. You want to be armored up in the spirit so that when they throw their fiery darts at you, it doesn't have a severe impact. It may hurt for a quick second, ouch, but it's like a bulletproof vest in the spirit. The bullets hit you, but they don't penetrate any vital organs because you got your vest on. Similarly, when you have on the armor of God, a hurtful word, a negative comment, a gossiping comment, initially may hurt, but it's not going to penetrate any vital areas of your life. It's not going to penetrate your self-esteem. It's not going to penetrate your confidence. It's not going to penetrate your ability to pursue your goals and your dreams because you got on your bulletproof vest in the spirit, the full armor of God. Fourth reason that envious people are dangerous people is they will sell you out in a heartbeat. They will sell you out